Sarah Halimi was a retired French doctor and schoolteacher who was attacked and killed in her apartment by her neighbor on the 4th of April 2017. The circumstances surrounding the killing, including the fact that Halimi was the only Jewish resident in her building, and that the assailant shouted Allahu Akbar during the attack and afterward proclaimed, "I killed the Satan," cemented the public perception of the incident, particularly among the French Jewish community, as a stark example of anti-Semitism in modern France. For several months the French government and some of the media hesitated to label the killing as anti-Semitic, drawing criticism from public figures such as Bernard-Henri Lévy. The government eventually acknowledged an anti-Semitic motivation for the killing. But in 2019 the assailant was declared to be not criminally responsible because he had consumed cannabis, which induced a state of psychosis. The decision was appealed to the Supreme Court of Cassation, who in 2021 upheld the lower court's ruling. The killing has been compared to the murder of Murray Knoll in the same arrondissement less than a year later, and to the murder of Ilan Halimi 11 years earlier. Dr. Sarah Attal Halimi, a 65-year-old Jewish woman, who was a retired physician and mother of 3 children, was beaten and defenestrated. It is uncertain if she was killed before the fall or if death occurred as a result of the fall. This occurred at her residence, a third-floor apartment in the Belleville district of Paris on the 4th of April 2017. Kobili Traore, a 27-year-old neighbor, a drug dealer and drug addict, claimed insanity and was promptly held in a psychiatric hospital. An African immigrant from Mali, Traore was reportedly enraged following a family dispute and gained access to the neighboring apartment of a different family, who immediately locked themselves into a bedroom, phoned police for help, and waited in fear as they listened to the intruder reciting verses from the Quran. The police are believed to have first gone to the wrong building while Traore climbed a balcony from the apartment where the family was sheltering behind a locked door to the apartment of Halimi, the only Jewish resident of the building. When police finally arrived at the apartment, the intruder had entered first. They delayed entering while they awaited the arrival of an elite squad. While more phone calls came into the police emergency hotline reporting a woman screaming as a man apparently beat her and shouted, "Shut your mouth, Allahu Akbar," and "I killed the Satan." After throwing Halimi from a third-floor window, Traore returned to the first apartment where the family, still cowering in a room and awaiting the police, again heard him praying aloud. The 2nd District of the Judicial Police of Paris was responsible for the investigation. On the 7th of April 2017, prosecutor François Molins, who opened a case for deliberate homicide, declared that the killing could not at that time be considered as an anti-Semitic act but that this possibility would be explored by the investigators. The Liberation newspaper reported that Traore had never been confined to a psychiatric hospital before but had been imprisoned several times for offenses including aggravated violence. Toxicological analysis revealed the presence of cannabis in his blood. Having been taken into custody without resistance, Traore later fought with police and was judged by a doctor to require transfer to a psychiatric hospital. He had not been interrogated by police. The results of the psychiatric assessment were planned for mid-June, then postponed until the end of August. Halimi's sister-in-law lodged a complaint on the 20th of June 2017 to denounce the inertia of the police and its lack of coordination. On the 10th of July 2017, Kobili Traore was apprehended and heard by the investigating judge. He recognized the facts about the killing, while denying any anti-Semitic motivation. "I felt like possessed. I felt oppressed by an external force, a demonic force." He attributes his condition to cannabis consumption. On the 12th of July 2017, Traore was charged with intentional homicide against Mrs. Attal Halimi and for forcible confinement of the neighboring family via whose apartment he climbed into Halimi's apartment. He was placed under warrant but remained in hospital. Brigitte Custer, a member of the 17th arrondissement of Paris, referred the matter to the Minister of the Interior. In September 2017, the prosecutor officially characterized the killing as an anti-Semitic crime. In February 2018, the investigator in charge admitted in writing the anti-Semitic nature of the killing as had already been indicated to Agence France-Presse by a judicial source. In July 2019, an examining magistrate ruled that Traoré was likely not criminally responsible because his heavy cannabis use had put him in a state of temporary psychosis known in France as bouffée délirante. This was affirmed at the end of 2019 by the Paris Court of Appeal.